Aenys was the first son and heir of Aegon the Conqueror and his younger sister, Aenys Targaryen. He was more like his mother than his father, softly spoken, and a gifted singer. He'd been weak as a baby, only starting to grow, when given the dragon hatchling Quicksilver. He was a kind and caring man who wanted to be loved by everyone. Many feared he would make a weak king, more so when you compare him to his younger brother, Maegor, Aegon's son by Visenya. Maegor was the exact opposite of his older brother, taking after their father, strong-willed and a fierce warrior. On their father's death, Aenys told his brother they would rule the realm together, giving him their father's Valyrian steel sword Blackfyre, and this is where problems would begin. When Aenys gave Maegor Blackfyre, the now Dowager Queen Visenya made it known that by doing this, King Aenys, publicly admitting he didn't have the strength to rule and was not fit to be king. Aenys only reinforced his view by being indecisive and confused when several rebellions sprung up immediately after his coronation. But these sorts of views bubbled under the surface for many years as the realm was peaceful, while Maegor served as his brother's hand. However, things quickly went sour. Maegor took a second wife without Aenys' leave, angering the faith, resulting in the king having to exile his brother. But then when Aenys married Princess Rhaena to her younger brother, Prince Aegon, it was the king who angered the faith, causing a religious rebellion. Aenys, at the wedding feast, named Aegon Prince of Dragonstone, a title that had belonged to Maegor. The Dowager Queen was so angry, she left the feast. She tried to counsel her nephew to bring fire and blood to the faith, but he refused. But yet he could not make a decision on what to do. He then became mysteriously ill while at Dragonstone. Aenys being ill was not surprising, as he was a weak and sickly baby, and often ill throughout his life. But the timing is very convenient. The Grand Maester fretted over the king's health and repeated illnesses, and this took its toll on the king's body. At the age of 35, it said he looked like a man in his 60s. As his condition worsened, Visenya ordered that she take control of the king's care. For a while, the king seemed to improve, but after the news that Crackle, where Princess Rhaena and Prince Aegon had stopped during their royal progress, was besieged, he collapsed and died soon after. Right away, Visenya mounted her dragon Vhagar to bring her son back from exile. Rather than back Aenys' son Aegon as heir, she worked to put her own son on the throne, making her actions seem even more suspect. But is there really much evidence in text to support the idea that Visenya would really poison her own nephew? It's very clear that, like many others in the Seven Kingdoms, she felt Aenys was weak and indecisive, not fit to be a king. The two had never seen close, and when it came to Maegor's second marriage and the naming of Aegon as Prince of Dragonstone, she had publicly undermined his authority. So with this lack of closeness and her view of Aenys, it does seem odd that she would elect to be in charge of his care. She was not a healer, so surely a maester or a closer member of family would have been a better fit. It also seems very suspect that as soon as the king was dead, she did not stay at Dragonstone to comfort his young children or his wife. Instead, she flew off to find her own son, Maegor, and bring him back to proclaim him king, a man many felt would be better suited to be a king than his older brother. Visenya knew the line of succession, and that by right the throne belonged to Aenys' eldest son, Aegon, yet she still moved to make her own son Maegor king. You can also look further back before the birth of a son to Aenys, where Visenya tried to betroth Maegor to Aenys' daughter and then heir, Rhaena, in order to give her son a stronger position in the line of succession. Her plan was not successful, but it does show intent and her political manoeuvring. So did Queen Visenya poison or have any involvement in the death of King Aenys? Well, she definitely had motive and was in position to do so, and her actions after Aenys' death do look suspect. But the idea Aenys, an already weak and frail man, often ill, just died because of the stress he faced as king, also fits well. Like many of the mysteries that come from Fire and Blood, it's unlikely we'll ever know the truth, but speculation is part of the fun, and George R.R. Martin's work would not be the same without it.